you had all sorts of revolutions after 1989, 1990 in the former Soviet bloc of countries. The Rose Revolution, the Orange Revolution, the Maidan, the Revolution of Dignity, was a little bit different in Ukraine in 2014, but they attached a color to it. And they were primarily run by a joint effort of three institutions in the United States. And where this came from was that after the exposures of the 1970s Church Committee and other hearings in the United States, the CIA and MI6 lost the capacity to actually just change regimes in foreign countries. They needed something which would give them plausible deniability, but wasn't directly the CIA or MI6. So they invented this blob of entities working through the National Endowment for Democracy, working through USAID with the arm of the Institute for Peace. And various foundations and NGOs joined this operation, not only receiving funding from the United States government to do this, but also doing independent funding of this entire apparatus. George Soros's Open Society Foundations are the keys. Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, all of the big foundations were also involved in these processes. So what they do, which is what we're seeing now in the United States, is all of a sudden some type of crisis would be boiled up. And then pre-trained assets of the intelligence community would be deployed into that situation. You had total control of the media, total control of the information being given to the public, and foot soldiers trained in what was called nonviolent resistance. And then always having a provocateur, always having an armed terrorist presence behind this nonviolent people, so that you could actually provoke incidents where people became martyrs. All right. So if you think about it, what we're seeing in Minneapolis is a classic color revolution kind of operation. And what we've called for and what we think is essential is you got to open the books totally on all this stuff. And we've got to bring people who did this stuff to justice, because this is what was turned on Donald Trump beginning in 2015.